All Atma Jyotis, I welcome all of you for today's session of Viveka Chudamani. After a gap, we are restarting Viveka Chudamani. First, let us offer our pranams to Sri Shankaracharya. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram. So far in Viveka Chudamani, if you remember, there are 6 questions were asked by a disciple. What is bondage? What is liberation? What is samsara? What is Atma, Anatma? All those questions Sri Shankaracharya answered. Finally, now we are coming to last few slokas where the Falashruti or Jivan Mukti of Vedanta Vichara is being discussed. What is Jivan Mukti? What is liberation? What is the characteristic of that liberated person? That's being discussed. So we are on the day 46 today. The day 46, the talk is life of a liberated. One who is liberated, we have to understand his life because that's what we are seeking, the liberation, Jivan Mukti. We have known what is samsari. Someone who is going through ups and downs in life, joys and sorrows. He is on an emotional roller coaster. That emotional roller coaster is not samsara. As against that Nani, or Jivan Mukta, is living a life of tranquility, peace, undisturbed by what's happening in the outer world. Nothing in the outer world will affect Nani. So Nani is like a person, like a lotus. The lotus is born in mud, grows in water, and blooms in sunlight. But lotus does not have the characteristic of mud. Lotus doesn't get affected by water. It blooms with sunlight. Like that, Nani is born in the world samsara, but he is not affected by it. He is living in the world. The world cannot touch him like water doesn't touch a lotus. And he blooms with wisdom. There is sunlight, light of wisdom, Atma Dnana. He is not at all affected. Such a person is called Jivan Mukta. So we'll take shloka number 89, which is nothing but 441 shloka in original Viveka Chudamani. So Jivan Mukta is not affected praise of good people or blaming by evil-minded people. The praise and blame do not affect him. He remains equanimous in both situations. The praise and the blame do not affect a Jivan Mukta. So let us understand this state of a Jivan Mukta. Sri Krishna, Yudhishthira, Dharmaraja conducts a yajna called Rajasuya Yaga. There are thousands of people participate, thousands of kings participate. Only kings are guests there. So on the last day of Rajasuya Yaga, you have to honor a chief guest. That's called Agra Puja. So who should be given Agra Puja? That's the dilemma of Dharmaraja. Because out of 1,000 kings, if you give honor to one person, other kings will be angry. So it's very politically very difficult situation. Whom to give respect, whom to give honor. Then he decides Sri Krishna has to be honored. Remember, Sri Krishna is not a king, he's a cowherd. And when he is made as the chief guest, nobody objects there because they understand the greatness of Krishna. One person called Shishupala is very angry with this decision. He starts shouting at Krishna. He abuses Krishna in that open sabha. Sri Krishna is not disturbed. He smiles. After it exceeds certain limit of 100 times of abuse, Sri Krishna kills him on the spot. Sri Krishna's life is exemplary. It is an example of an enlightened person's or Jivan Mukta's life. Many times, right from childhood, people are trying to kill him. Gopikas love him. Kaur Pandavas take political advice from him. Duryodhana blames him. Any situation in life, Sri Krishna is not at all disturbed. The smile on the face of Sri Krishna never faded. When the Shishupala abuses him, Sri Krishna just smiles. Unaffected by praise or blame. The praise is, out of 1,000 kings, a cowherd boy Sri Krishna is made Agra Puja, for Agra Puja. So that's the praise. Abuses are done by Shishupala. Praise and abuses, praise and blame do not affect a Nani or Jivan Mukta. The question is why it doesn't affect. Why it doesn't affect? Why it doesn't affect the Jivan Mukta? So there was a man who had 4 vigrahas, statues, Rama, Lakshmana, Sita, and Hanuman statue of gold. Unfortunately, he falls. He loses his business. He has no money. He has to sell these 4 statues, Rama, Lakshmana, Hanuman, and Sita. And all are made up of gold. He wants to get money. He goes to the shopkeeper, goldsmith. I want to sell these 4 statues. Then what does goldsmith do? He weighs each of the statues. Then he says, I'll give more money for Hanuman statue and less money for Rama. Like that, Hanuman is given more money, Rama is given less money. What is this? Hanuman is a servant of Rama. How you can give more money to Rama? From the goldsmith point of view, Hanuman or Rama or Lakshmana Sita is nothing but gold only. Whether Hanuman is a servant of Rama or Rama is a master of Hanuman, it doesn't matter to him. He is only looking at gold. So similarly, a Nani is only looking at gold. He only sees the Atma in everybody because he has realized his own self, Atma. What he has realized? Nanu, Nanembudu, Nanalla, Ideha, Manabuddhi, Nanalla, Sachidanandatma, Shivananu Nani, Shivoham, Shivoham, Shivoham. I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not the intellect, I'm pure consciousness, Shivaswarup. So I'm the Atma. So everybody else is also Atma. So Nani's view is, Nani always looks at Atma. Atma is Sachidananda, existence, consciousness. Atma is never born. It has no birth, no death. So if somebody abuses, whom are they abusing? Somebody is praising, whom are they praising? They are praising or abusing the body. I'm not the body. So what you do? What is the big deal? You praise the body, abuse the body, doesn't matter. I'm the Atma. So with that understanding, he is not at all disturbed. So this is the viewpoint of Nani. And what is the viewpoint of ignorant person, Adnani? Adnani gets, if somebody praises him, he will be just jumping. Oh, see, people told me like that. Or somebody blames him, he'll go puss. There was an elephant in a temple. So the elephant was used for procession of the deity every year during Dasara. Deity is kept on with the ambari on the back of the elephant and procession. And everybody will do namaskara to the namaskara. So elephant feels very happy. Everybody is doing namaskara to me. One day, elephant becomes old. Now there's no more taken in procession, but elephant gets depressed. Now nobody does namaskar to me. Without understanding that elephant, nobody does namaskar to elephant. Namaskar is done to the God, the statue of God sitting on the back of the elephant. This is the situation of a Adnani. Somebody talks to him, oh, you are so looking so good. This person feels very happy. Without understanding that I'm not the body, only consciousness, which is God, is the reality. So when somebody does namaskara, do you think namaskar is done to the body? Namaskar is done to the Atma inside. When you say namaskara, left hand, your Atma, right hand, my Atma is one. So I'm not doing namaskara to your body. But the person feels, oh, this person is doing namaskar to me. Me means body. So that me is the elephant, ego, big like an elephant. So Nani, a Jivan Mukta, is not at all affected by praise and blame, whereas ignorant person like an elephant thinks if somebody does namaskara, he's doing to me. The me means body and mind. Nobody does namaskara to body and mind. Body and mind just is a vehicle. Elephant. So now, here we have to understand the qualities of a Jivan Mukta. Who is a Jivan Mukta? Jivan Mukta walks, talks, he does some work. Sri Ramana Maharshi used to get up early in the morning. He'll go to kitchen room, cut the vegetables. And he goes to the garden, does some work. And when people come, he'll come and sit in the chair. So one day, somebody wanted to see Ramana Maharshi. And he comes in the garden. He is while on the way. He sees one old man working in the garden. He asks, Ramana Maharshi is in the ashram. So this person, old man, says, he'll come, go. So that person goes there. Then Ramana Maharshi washes his hand. The worker who is working there, Ramana Maharshi, washes his hand, goes and sits in front of that person. So simple, so humble is Ramana Maharshi. Now, is there an ego for a Jnani? If there's no ego, then the body will fall. Ego means identity in the body. A Jnani has an ego, which is purified ego. So Jnani will never get confused with the body and mind. He knows, but he has an ego or dehabhimana to the extent of functioning in the world. So if somebody comes and tells Ramana Maharshi, did you eat food? He'll say, I eat food. The Atma never eats food. Only the body eats food. So Ramana Maharshi says, yes, I ate food. Means the body is eating food. So then Ramana Maharshi says, who am I? Inquire who am I? Then he's referring to Atma. So a Jnani is always clear. He'll never confuse between the Atma and the body. For interaction purpose, he may not say that. But otherwise, he is very, very clear always. What is Atma? What is body? I am the Atma. Never confusion. That is called Nani. Whereas an ignorant person is confused. How old are you? See, next year I'm celebrating my 46th birthday. For whom is the birthday? Atma has no birth, Atma has no death. Then you already identify the body. Hey, I got a promotion, I'm very happy. Then you identify the mind. So Nani does not identify the body and mind, uses the body and mind for functioning. So that's the difference between Nani and Adnani. So Nani also has an ego, which is purified ego. So that's why serpent in the neck of Shiva is represents the purified ego. The serpent is poisonous for Jiva. For a Gnani, the serpent becomes Abharana, an ornament. Gnani uses the ego for functioning purpose. That's all. So a Gnani, Adnani has an ego and Gnani has an ego. What is the difference? The Adnani's ego has many meanings. Who are you? I'm a husband. Who are you? I'm an engineer. Who are you? I am the father of my children. So the Adnani's ego has many meanings, and each of the meaning Adnani thinks is real. So Gnani's ego has only one meaning, Atma. Other meanings are just secondary. So we can look at a Jivan Mukta from two point of view. From ego point of view or Sakshi point of view. Because Gnani also has an ego, a purified ego. Gnani is Sakshi. Now, when we say Jivan Mukta, we have to look at Jivan Mukta from two point of view. A Sakshi point of view and ego point of view. A Sakshi point of view, Atma is not born. Atma has no death. Atma has no bondage, no liberation. Atma is ever blissful, Sat Chit Ananda. So from Atma point of view, Gnani is always blissful. Now, when you say characteristic of a Gnani, the guna of a Gnani, there are several qualities of a Gnani. Sukeshu anudigmanaha, dukeshu vigata spraha, vitaraga, bhaya, krodha, sthitadi manuruchate. Does not get depressed when there is a sorrow, does not get elated when there is joy. He has no anger and fear. Now, this description is meaningless from the Sakshi point of view, because Sakshi is never born. This description is from the purified ego point of view. The purified ego of the Gnani is, this description applies. Are we getting understand difference? There are two egos. One is purified ego. For the purified ego, we are always giving the qualities of a Jivan Mukta. For Atma, there is no quality. Atma is beyond quality. Atma is never born. Sakshi is never born. So now, from the ego point of view, the moksha is gradual. Sakshi point of view, there is no bondage and liberation. There are two different perspectives. As Atma, I have no birth, no death, no bondage, no liberation. But from Sakshi point of view, I have to work. From the ego point of view, I have to purify myself, I have to do yoga, I have to do Shravanavan Nidyasa, then get liberated. Then when I do that, I develop this Chitta Pratna quality. So let us understand what is the difference between the ego point and Gnani point. See, this left hand side is an ignorant person. He has so many identities. Ask him, who are you? I am husband, I am 60-year-old, I am engineer, I am father, I am a happy man, I am unhappy man. He has so many phases, identities. Each identity is represented by one eye. So how many eyes you have? Whole cell, 100, 1000. You always remember, oh, when I was in childhood. So you have a whole cell, lot of eyes. Multiple personalities. multiple identities. That's called impure ego, because it does not know who real I is. I am the body, I am the mind, intellect. I am husband, I am wife, I am engineer, I am doctor. Okay, I studied there. All those are super important. I in case of Adnani. In case of Nani, the I means the Sakshi, Atma. The real I is Sakshi, Atma, which is so when we speak of Sthitaprajna quality, we are speaking of the purified ego quality, not Sakshi quality. Sakshi has no qualities. So now, if that being case, how do we know whether I am becoming Nani or not? See, there's no bear. Somebody will come and give you a certificate. You are a Nani, you are a Jivan Mukta. Nobody will give you a certificate. You have to understand the Atma Dnana from the three point of view. Something called fire. Fire is emotional disturbances. We have emotional disturbances. Kama, Krodha, Mada, Matsara, Moha, Lobha, desire, anger, fear, jealousy, hatred, all these desires, all these emotional disturbances. So if you have an emotional meter, we'll check what is your status of emotion. So over a period of time, you'll notice that I am becoming more and more peaceful. So 10 years back, I was very, very angry. Now I become more peaceful. So you have to judge with respect to you, what were you earlier? The emotional meter. Second thing is the fire. The fire is emotional disturbance comes in our life. Frequency, interval, recovery rate of emotions makes a difference. Frequency means, last couple of years back, every moment I used to get angry. Frequency, more angry, frequency. Now I'm calmed down. Once in a week, I'll get angry. Intensity. Earlier, if I get angry, I will break something. I'll go and break a chair. I'll break a glass. So now if I get angry, I don't break anything. I just sit quietly. Intensity comes down. So then recovery period. Earlier, if I get angry, I used to become very, very, it will take me 1 month to recover. Now, if I get angry, I'll quickly recover, 10 minutes. So fire comes down your life, FIRE. So the emotional meter should tells you that I am emotionally better compared to earlier. Then there are a lot of positive qualities. So negative qualities are shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, all those things. So then there's neutrality. The positive qualities as willingness, acceptance, reason, love, joy, peace, and clarity, enlightenment. So gradually, these are the positive qualities will increase. Negative qualities will go, emotional disturbance will go. And this is with reference to you. 10 years back I was like this, last year I'm like this, now I'm like this. You cannot compare with, no, because like Ramana Maharshi, I'm not there. You cannot say, with respect to Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, I'm not there. Don't compare yourself. You look at your emotional meter, look at the fire in your life, and look at the positive qualities of peace, love, joy, which is developing in your life. So, or Sthitaprajna qualities which are developing in life, then you understand you are gradually moving towards liberation. So now, we have to understand the differentiation between the enlightenment and liberation. Many times we read spiritual books and we think, that person sat for meditation. Suddenly a light came, he got enlightened. So enlightenment, is it sudden or gradual? This doubt we have. See, the enlightenment is the clarity of the intellect. It's always sudden. It's like a light bulb flash. This is it. Eureka. Yes, I'm not the body. I'm not the mind. I'm not the intellect. I'm pure consciousness. Sudden experience, sudden understanding is enlightenment. Understanding is always sudden. For example, in the room, there's a darkness. We don't know what is there in the room. Somebody comes and switches on the light. Immediately we see light in the room. Enlightenment is light. Immediately our wrong understanding, we become clear of all wrong understanding. I'm the body, I'm the mind, I'm the intellect. All those are wrong. Enlightenment, liberation, actually often confusingly used together in literature. Enlightenment means Jnanodaya, liberation means Mukti. So we are actually in all the spiritual literature, their enlightenment, liberation, they're confusingly mixing it and using it. Somebody, we read many times, he sat for meditation for many days, suddenly he got a light and he got enlightened. Enlightenment is always one time, enlightenment is always sudden. It's an understanding. Aha! So far I was thinking I am the body and mind, I am the Atma. That clarity is called enlightenment. The clarity is always sudden. It is like switching on a light in the room. There's a darkness in the room. When you switch on, suddenly light is everywhere. So like that, the clarity or understanding insight which you get is called enlightenment. The clarity is always sudden. But the purity takes time. The vasana or impressions removal will take time. What is the main vasana? Dehatma buddhi. I am the body is the vasana. I am the body vasana will not go suddenly. It will take time, gradual. So this dropping of the I am the body vasana gradually is like blooming of a lotus flower. It blooms slowly. The liberation is gradual. Enlightenment is like switching on a bulb. It's sudden. So in the scriptures, many places people mix up enlightenment and liberation. We are getting confused. The liberation or getting rid of vasana, dehatma buddhi is a slow process. Clarity that I am the body and mind intellect is a sudden process. For a person who is very ripe soul, enlightenment and liberation can be simultaneous. But for most of the people, enlightenment first and liberation slowly. Or liberation started, then he gets enlightened, then liberation process continue. So mukti is a slow process. Mukti is like more like a blooming of a lotus. Enlightenment is like a flashing of a light. Oh, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect. So for bringing clarity, I am showing through this picture. So earlier, there's a two-ness. There's a subject-object duality is there. I am the subject, there's an object of the world. So this subject-object duality is called samsara. It causes suffering. I'm seeing such a big world, I'm suffering from the world. I'm a little bit tiny, little being. Ishvara is there. So all this is called samsara. So now he starts practicing meditation, dhyana, or he does yoga. What kind of yoga? He does variety of yoga, karma yoga, bhakti yoga, kriya yoga, different types of yoga. What you call as yoga practice. Okay. So from two-ness, he wants to go to oneness. Oneness called ekatva. So for this, he will take a practice. The practice is called dharana. It can be mantra japa, it can be breathing, or it can be who am I, it can be koham, soham, dhyana. So you are holding on to some practice. That holding on to some practice is called dharana. Now what you are holding on to? You are want to unite subject and object. For uniting subject and object, you are holding on to a practice. Two, you want to make one. So when two you want to make one, that's called dharana. Means holding on. So then gradually, momentarily, the subject and object become one. So that's called manolaya. The mind gets absorbed. The subject gets absorbed in the object, or object gets absorbed in the subject. See, when I am meditating with Ishvara, so I can merge with Ishvara. I am not there, you only are there. And when I am doing karma yoga, my mind can merge in the action. So this is called laya or absorption. Now, ego thought, what is this process? In this process, ego thought, I is becoming purer and purer. So in this process, The self is, I start recognizing self in all, one in all. This is called Bhakti Yoga or Karma Yoga. The clarity has not emerged, the purity is. So when the focus is the outer world or focus is God is outside me, it's called Bhaya Samadhi. Karma Yoga is related to Bhaya Samadhi, and gradually inner Samadhi will happen. Antar Samadhi. This Antar Samadhi. Everything in the world is in myself. So Samadhi is a momentary state. It appears, subject and object become momentarily one. Momentarily. Two becomes one. That's why it's called oneness. And this is called dhyana. From dharana yoga, dhyana is called laya, manolaya. So gradually what will happen? You attain manonasha. So for that jnana yoga is required. This oneness or yoga will bring you purity or chitta shuddhi. The clarity, who am I inquiry, Atma Vichara, Atma Dana, will bring what you call as clarity. So I am established, I am the Brahman, I am Atma. So now oneness is gone. There's no two-ness, Advaita. Advaita means not two. Oneness. It's not oneness also. It is not two. So two-ness to oneness to no two-ness. No two-ness is called transcendental state. Oneness is called immanent state, immanent realization. So immanent realization and transcendental realization. Transcendental realization is mukti. Immanent is not mukti because it's temporary merger. It's called yoga. Temporarily you're connecting. So now what happens in the immanent, transcendent is ego, I thought, merges with the source. So this state is called Sahaja Samadhi or natural state or Jivan Mukti. The subject and object is transcendent now. There's no subject and object. So this is called Manonasha. So this is called Jivan Mukti. So we have a Dharana, Dhyana and Samadhi. So let us give I'll give one more example. Somebody wants to learn swimming. So then he will put a tire around his stomach. The tire is Dharana, support for him. Then he'll jump into water. He'll try to swim. A few steps he swims. Then he's not able to swim. Again, he'll take the support of the tire. That's called Dhyana. Finally, he learns swimming. He throws out the tire. Now he can swim without tire. That's called Samadhi. Rough example. So Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. Dharana starts with some meditation practice, breathing practice, japa or mantra. Okay. Or who am I? Dhyana is momentarily, there's a subject-object merger happens. It's a state of peaceful state. What I call as turiya. You can call it as waking sleep. Okay. So this Bhaya Samadhi where subject merges the object. So my guru is there. I merge with the guru. Or guru or God merges with me. Antar Samadhi. But momentary. There's no permanent merger happens. But you have peace and bliss. This is called Dhyana. Finally, you enter Samadhi where subject-object transcend it. Now we have gone beyond subject-object. So what has happened? You start with the two-ness. Two-ness became momentary oneness. One got absorbed in the other momentarily. So now in the final stage, there's no two at all. Two-ness is gone. It's non-duality, Advaita. The subject-object is considered as mithya. So to make you understand, Adnani or Jiva or Gnani, both are Jivatma. Atma is common to both. Adnani has an impure ego where he considers body and mind and myself. So that's why he lives in the past, present, and future. Worries, tensions, imaginations, he lives. Stressful life. That's called samsara. Whereas Adnani lives a life of freedom. He has a purified ego. Please understand, Nani also has a purified ego. Where Adnani's ego says, I am the body, I am the mind, I am the intellect. Nani's ego always knows, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I'm pure consciousness. So now, because he lives a purified ego, that's a peace of mind. Now, when we speak of Sthitapana quality, we are not speaking the qualities of Atma. Atma is same for Adnani and Nani. We are only speaking the qualities of a purified ego. Is that clear? So, Sthitapratna means purified ego. Sthitapratna is not Atma. Atma is common to Gnani and Adnani. So, the purification of the ego takes time because it's in time. Jnana doesn't take time. Jnana is sudden. Oh, I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not anything. But purification of the ego is a gradual process. So this, I'll give you an example. There's a mango tree. A mango falls. Is fall of the mango sudden or gradual? The fall of the mango is always sudden. The mango has to ripe. But ripening process is gradual. Similarly, ripening process for a jnana is gradual. The purification is gradual. Jnana is sudden, dropping. So we should not confuse jnana and freedom from Dehatma Buddhi. So most of spiritual literature is confusion. Is liberation and jnanodaya, this is confusion. Liberation is always a gradual process. Jnana is always a sudden process. So what happens is a yogi or yogi, he practices karma yoga, bhakti yoga and samadhi. So now there's a purity developed, chitta shuddhi. Gradually dehatma buddhi is gone. I am the body, I am the mind, I am the intellect, body, the concept is gone. There's a gradual purification. Purification is always gradual. So Vedanta speaks of mukti, means liberation, which is a purification process, gradual. So when he is purified, he becomes eligible for clarity, jnana yoga. So jnana yoga, atma vichara, who am I? So that, and nididhyasa, which will reduce the dehatma buddhi further, he becomes a jnana nishta. So jnani is jnani, he gets jnana first, then he becomes jnana nishta. When dehatma buddhi vasanas are gone, that is through practice of nididhyasa. So then it becomes Sahaja Samadhi or Jivan Mukta. So let us understand this from another perspective. We have heard there are 4 types of Jnanis: Brahmavid, Brahmavidvara, Brahmavidvarenya, and Brahmavidvarishta. If you look at Jnana from the Sakshi point of view, there is no those 4 type of people. Sakshi is always same. Atma is always same. So there are no 4 different type of Jnanis. In fact, there's no 4. Adnan is also not there. Sakshi point of view, Atma is same. No bondage, no liberation. But anything which you speak is mainly from the point of view of ego. Even Jnana, 4 gradations, Brahmavid, Brahmavara, Brahmavarenya, Brahmavarishta, is from the purified ego point of view or Prabdha Karma point of view. There is a samsari who is suffering because he has multiple identities. I am the body, I am mind, I am husband, I am wife. So many multiple identities are there. So then one day he becomes Nani. When he becomes Nani, he understood, so I am not the body, mind, intellect. He is called Brahmavid, self-realized. In a state of deep meditation, he recognizes I am Brahman. But then he comes out. He has to work in the world. Okay. His ego is there. Now ego has become purified. He knows I am the body, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not intellect, I am pure consciousness. But with that pure ego, he starts working in the world. Why does he work in the world? For Loka Kalyana, service to the world. Selfless service. Atmano Mokshatam is done. Nobody will know that he is a Jnani. He will work like any other person, but he will do lot of work for Loka Kalyana. That's called Brahmavid. So he has a Jnana Brahman. Okay, mind is focused on Brahman. He has understood world is unreal and Brahman is real, and he has understood I am Brahman. But the mental activity, Prarabdha karma persists. Because of Prarabdha karma, he has to work in the world, he has to earn money, he has to do Loka Kalyana. But he is not doing anything for happiness. He understands Atma is happiness. Whenever possible, you go back to meditation, Samadhi. That's the first stage. Now, at this stage of Brahmavid, he'll still have anger, he'll still have hatred, he may have still jealousy, but the fire has come down. The fire is very minimum. Okay, Sthita Prajna qualities have started improving. And he knows I am Brahman. So Brahma Varishta is the highest. He stays in Turiya. Now, for his mental activity, ego is merged with the self. So he is always in a state of Samadhi. Now, doesn't mean that he'll sit silent somewhere. He may be working in the world. Whatever work he does, still he knows I am Brahman. From Brahman point of view, operates. So he's called Turiyaga. The mental activity, ego is nullified, or Dehatma Buddhi is minimum. So what does it mean? Like all of us, when I go to the office, I'm an officer, engineer, but still I remember I'm a husband. Okay, still I remember I'm a father. At the background, I'm a father or husband is there. When I interact with somebody, I always have feeling that I'm the human man or I'm a woman. That feeling is there. Similarly, at Nani, Brahmadnani, wherever he interacts in the world, I am Brahman, I am Atma. That understanding is there, always in the background. It will never be lost. And his vasanas are very low, minimum. Dehatma Buddhi is minimum. Between these two, there's a Brahma with Varishtvara and Brahma with Varenya. So Brahma with Vara has developed a deep detachment. Brahma with has known Atma, and gradually, because I know Atma, I am feeling more blissful. So that's why more detachment will develop with respect to objects of the world. Vasanas are going, asamasakti. Brahma with Varenya, so now he starts feeling the objects are unreal, mithya. And Brahma with Varishta, he always gets established in Turiya. So now what has happened? Brahma with Dwara, Brahma with to Brahma with Dwara to Brahma with Varenya to Varishta. There's a reduction of mental impression, mental activity has come down. And this mental activity is due to Prarabdha. So Prarabdha karma, variation is there in Nanis also. The ego, from the outer point of view, Nanis are different type because of Prarabdha karma and because of the residual vasana. So while Brahma with works continuously in the world, Brahma Varishta may not work in the world. But both are Nanis, both are Brahmavid. From Sakshi point of view, both are Nanis. From Atmanana point of view, both are Nanis. But from behavior point of view, they are different. So now, a Nani has to be understood two ways. As a Sakshi or Atma, he is Brahman. No birth, no death, no liberation, no bondage. From ego point of view, there is a gradual progressive reduction of fire, progressive change of emotional meter, and progressive change of Sthita Prajna quality. Okay. So now which point he becomes in Sthita Prajna? He is gradually, fire is coming down, and gradually his Sthita Prajna qualities are increasing. At one point of time, he is complete. Oh, means it is a gradual process. Liberation is a gradual process. Ha, I am Atma. Now at that point, he's like a mango which is falling from the tree. So now, beyond that point, he is Sthita Prajna. Otherwise, he is gradually, he has developed the qualities of Sthita Prajna. This emotional meters, no? The meter of emotion. Okay, earlier 100% anger, now 80% anger, 70% anger, 60% anger, 50% anger. Okay, the Sthita Prajna quality, peace, calmness, peace, 100%, 10%, 20%, 80%. At some point, he'll cross over. So that point is the point of Jivan Mukti, liberation. Is it clear? Sudden and gradual, have you understood the difference? So now, next sloka number 442. In our class, it is a 90 sloka number T. One who knows the Atma is Brahman. Atma is Brahman. There's no samsara. If there is samsara, that means he is the extrovert and he does not know Brahman. So this is typically the sloka we say chant in the end of the class. Atma darshanam, Brahma darshanam, Brahma darshanam, Satya Darshanam. To know the self is to know God. To know God is to be God. To be God is to know the truth. So, to know self means self is known as Sakshi, Atma. Okay, Atma Darshanam. And then we know Sakshi, Atma is Brahman, the totality of existence, pure existence, Brahman. So the two things, Atma and Brahman. Atma Darshanam, Brahma Darshanam. Aham Brahmasmi, Sarvam Khalu Brahma. Together becomes a subject-object duality, collapses. So then there is no samsara. If there is samsara, that means he is extrovert and does not know Brahman. So now, Nani is like an ocean. What happens in the ocean? So ocean does not get affected by rain or if there's a rain, the ocean doesn't overflow. If there's no rain, the ocean doesn't dry. The ocean is always full. So Nani is always full of bliss. When I say, please understand, Nani is full, as Atma, everybody is full. I am a full, Adnani is also full, everybody is full. Sakshi point of view. So Nani is full from the purified ego point of view. He feels, I am Atma, I am peaceful. So now, the ocean does not rise when there is rain or does not get dried when there is no rain. So Nani is full of bliss. Any happiness in the world does not elate Nani. Any misery in the world does not depress him. He becomes equanimous. Equanimity is developed. So if he has not, that means he has become free from samsara. Now samsara here doesn't mean cycle of life and birth and death. He is still alive. He is a Jivan Mukta. So samsara here means what is affecting somebody in the world does not affect him. Happiness and sorrow does not affect him. The external conditions do not affect internally. It's like more like saying the corona is there in Bangalore, the virus is there in Bangalore, but I'm not affected by my immunity system is good. Similarly, Nani's immunity system, emotional immunity has become very good. Mind has become pure, intellect has become clear, emotional integrity, emotional quotient has become refined. So he's not disturbed by any situation. Like that's the meaning of samsara. Samsara doesn't mean here cycle of birth and death, because we cannot speak of cycle of birth and death. He's not died. He's alive still. So when that is the case, cycle of birth and death, he is still undisturbed because he is always feeling blissful and peaceful. That Nani is like a boat in a river. A boat in the river, the river or ocean is nothing but samsara, the world. Boat should be in water, but water should not be the boat. So Nani is floating in samsara. The water doesn't get into his boat. That means nothing affects him. Whereas the ignorant person, his boat is holes. The water rushes. So boat is in water and water is in the boat. That's a problem. So Nani is the world, but world is not in Nani. That's the meaning of that. That's the meaning of Nani is free from samsara. Now, if he is in samsara, that means he has not got Brahmadnana. That means if he is getting disturbed, he is not in Brahmadnana. Why? His mind is extroverted. What is the meaning of mind extroverted here? So somebody who is looking for happiness from the world outside is disturbed by the world. Somebody who does not look for happiness from the outer world only gets happiness from the inner world. He is a Gnani. An ignorant person still gets happiness from the outer world. He is extroverted. Oh, I'll be happy if I get that. I'll be unhappy if I don't get that. His mind is extroverted. That's why he is not become Gnani. He has not recognized Atma and Brahman. For him, subject-object duality has not collapsed. See, there's a remote here, TV remote. If I switch on the TV remote, the TV will be on. If I switch off, TV is off. So now, an ignorant person is like ignorant person is controlled by the world. Something happens in the world, he gets depressed. Something happens in the world, he gets joyful. Whereas Nani is free from the remote. Nothing happening in the world will affect him. So this I want to show through pictorically. So a Sakshi or Atma is always now, here and now. I am the Atma. I cannot be Atma tomorrow. I am Atma now. How I am Atma? Nanu, Nanembudu, Nanalla, Ideha, Manabuddhi, Nanalla, Sachidananda Atma, Shivananani, Shivoham, Shivoham, Shivoham. I am established in self. I am Atma. So I am not disturbed. Okay, this is what I am already. I cannot become that. So many people think that I will do meditation for 10 years, I'll become Atma. Okay, so that Atma cannot be found, realization cannot happen in future, not in time. It cannot happen in Himalayas. It cannot happen in a cave. It is here and now because you are already Atma. You are already that. So if you understand I am already Atma, you are Jivanmukta. But the ego constantly looks for enlightenment, liberation in the future. It's never in the present moment. It's always constantly looking. It's in samsara. So one who is looking for happiness in time and space, outside the world, outside in the outer world, or you say one day I'll get enlightened, I'll be happy. He is looking for happiness in the time and space. He is called samsari. So this is being Atma. It's always same. This is becoming. Ego is constantly becoming. Honge kamyab ek din. Hum honge kamyab. One day I'll become happy. I am unhappy today. One day I'll get enlightened, I'll become happy. It's always postponing happiness and enlightenment to the future. So Shankaracharya says, so if somebody is looking for happiness tomorrow, enlightenment tomorrow, liberation, then he is still in samsara. So what is enlightenment? The past, our past is always full of, if you keep on, mind is in the past, the guilt, regret, grievance, sadness, bitterness, all the unforgiveness, all these are past. And future is about worry, stress, tension, anxiety. So most of the people, Adnani, lives in the past or future. He doesn't live in the present. This is like a stone, carrying a stone on the back. This Nani is always living in the present. He has no load. Present moment is the only reality. He will not even say, one day I'll get enlightened. He is, I am Atma, now. Now, if you say, I am getting enlightened one day, that means you are living in the future. Again, you will have anxiety. One day will it come or not? One day, if another wave of corona comes, will I get enlightened? All those questions will come. So, enlightenment cannot be postponed. Liberation can be made slow. Liberation will be gradual. Here, another example of enlightenment is acceptance of life as it comes. At this moment, what happens to me, I accept. Because what happens to me is prarabdha karma. And how I act on that is called purushartha. A Nani accepts prarabdha karma, acceptance of life brings peace to him. Moment to moment, he accepts life. So somebody is sitting on a snail, which is moving slowly. A Nani says, it's moving slowly, but it's moving, let it move. Adnani, he is tensed up. It's slow, it's too slow, it's going slow, I have to go fast. He is not able to accept the reality of present moment. So this is about mukti. There are so many links here for the Light of Self Foundation website link. You can subscribe to courses, the program for children, I-Lead program. Then Light of Self Foundation YouTube channel is there. You can subscribe to all of these. Children Culture program you can subscribe to in Facebook. You're welcome. So let us close our eyes for some time. Sit silently. Just ask yourself question, who am I? If there are multiple answers for the question, who am I? Then it's the ego. There's only one question for the answer. Who am I? I'm pure awareness. Shivasrupi. Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti 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 Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Nanembudu Nanalla Ideha Manabuddhi Nanalla Sachidanandatma Shivananani Shivoham Shivoham Shivoham. I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not the intellect, I'm pure consciousness, Shivasrupi. Atmadarshanam Brahmadarshanam Brahmadarshanam Satyadarshanam. To know the self is to know God. To know God is to be God. To be God is to know the truth. Antarjyoti, Bahirjyoti, Pratyakjyoti, Paratpara, Jyotireva Jyoti, Swayam Jyoti, Atma Jyoti, Shivosmeham. I am the light of the self, awareness, Atma Jyoti. I am the light illuminating the entire world, Jagat Jyoti. I am the light for the mind, light beyond all minds, Paranjyoti. Light of love, light of peace, light of compassion, light of happiness. Lokaha samastaha Sukhino bhavantu. Lokaha samastaha Sukhino bhavantu. Lokaha samastaha Sukhino bhavantu. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Rub both of your hands. Give warmth to the eyes. Slowly open your eyes. With that, we are concluding 89 and 90th sloka. Next class we'll take on Wednesday. Tomorrow, what class is there? I'll announce. You can subscribe to Light of Self YouTube channel, and I lead programs for children. Anybody has any questions? Was that clear?
Namaskara, Guruji.
Namaskara.
Kannada ಸಾಯಂಕಾಲ ಇರುತ್ತಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲ 11:30.
11:30ಗೆ.
ಹೌದು. Any questions? Was it clear? Liberation and enlightenment? Yes.
Hari Om, Guruji.
Hari Om, Saraswati.
It's very clear, Guruji. Confusion. Clear ಆಯ್ತು.
Okay. Wonderful. Because otherwise we'll read some novels or read some books. Suddenly he got enlightened and he got free. So that suddenly enlightenment and liberation is becoming together for somebody who's already liberated. He has done a lot of sadhana. He has already purified himself.
Yes, Guruji, correct. That is true.
Right? If he has not purified himself, he has to continue the purification. Okay, that's what happened to Arjuna. Shri Krishna gave Nana to him. You are not the body. Sankhya Yoga told Nana. Then he told Arjuna, do Karma Yoga. Purify yourself. Do Upasana. You purify yourself.
Yes, Guruji. Now the fire has reduced to 10%.
Very good.
We can able to see our progression, Guruji.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Guruji. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om, Prabhuji.
Hari Om, Shawan.
So from Brahmavid to onwards, if the ego is purified and he's enlightened in Brahmavid, and it's only the prarabdha that's going on, and the interactions are gradually lesser and lesser as we progress. the anger is felt by whom? There is
See,
the ego is pure already.
no. See, the thing is, whenever we refer any emotions of Nani, we are always referred to with respect to ego. Right? The Sakshi is the witness. Understood? So Nani has a dual understanding of life, outer and inner. So if you ask him, he'll say, I am Brahman. When he says I am Brahman, he's referring to Sakshi. When he says I am angry, he's referring to ego. But he has a clear distinction there.
Okay. So it's the distinction between Atma and ego that is enlightenment.
So Adnani will always be sharp distinction, very clear. Adnani will mix up these two.
Okay.
Understand?
Okay. Yes.
So
Okay.
my distinction of enlightenment and liberation, is it clear?
Yes. So enlightenment is the stage where Atma is known as separate from ego.
And I am the Atma. Okay.
I am the Atma.
There's a clarity. Oh, it's aha moment. So far I was thinking I am suffering. I am body and mind. Okay. That understanding aha is called enlightenment.
Okay.
Okay. Now, enlightenment, liberation will happen simultaneously for somebody who is mature already.
Okay.
Like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa is mature. So enlightenment, liberation is simultaneous for him. Right? But most of us, we are not, because we have not done upasana, karma yoga, our purification has not happened to the extent where enlightenment and liberation can be simultaneous.
Okay.
So for us, aha, I understood, I am Atma, but still I am not feeling it because vasanas are there. Dehatma buddhi is there. Liberation has to happen. Yoga has to happen. Am I making clear?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Because this confusion people have. I got Atmatan. I read some so many spiritual books. I know I am Brahman, but still I am not feeling Brahman. You are not feeling Brahman because your backlog, or no, what is called carry in engineering. Engineering we say examination past subjects I failed, and now I have to carry over. I have to complete it.
Yes.
Nah?
Yeah.
Karma yoga,
So
purification, you have to continue. Here main focus will be nididhyasa. Will purify you.
okay.
Right?
Okay.
That's
So in the asamsakti stage,
asamasakti. Yeah.
asamasakti stage or Brahma Vara stage, the anger that comes or the emotional disturbance the ego feels is understood by the Atma, but ego continues to feel and get disturbed.
Get disturbed will be a fire has already come down drastically. It'll momentarily, like some of the Nanis you can see shouting and all. They can come, it'll immediately come down.
Okay.
Right? So the fire is there momentarily.
Okay.